Okay, Dean Rusk disagrees with you, and he was the Secretary of State at the time, but that's fine.
The communist nations have exploited the turmoil of a time of transition in an effort to extend communist control into other areas of the world.
Thoughts on Dean Rusk and America's involvement in Vietnam? I know next to nothing about that.
Exactly.
Liberals like Biden, who are also prone to hyperbolic and dishonest attacks on their opponents. Tobin declares, the reality of contemporary politics is the GOP is a lockstep pro-Israel party where philo-Semitism is the norm. The opposite is true of the Democratic Party, whose intersectional left wing's embrace of critical race theory has driven growing hostility to Israel and support for ideologues in the Black Lives Matter movement that embrace the idea that Jews are white oppressors. And rather than isolating their extremists, the party's progressive wing and pop culture and media cheering sections have embraced them. Tobin explains that for many on the left, their goal is to redefine anti-Semitism in a way so as to label the demonization of Israel and the Jews as legitimate discourse rather than hate speech. Indeed, Biden has a history of treating the state of Israel, the only Jewish state in the world and established after World War II and the Holocaust, as a second-class country. He speaks down to its elected leaders when those leaders are members of the Likud party, Israel's largest political party for the last quarter century. It is also Israel's most prominent conservative party. On June 22, 1982, Senator Biden confronted then-Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin during his Senate Foreign Relations Committee testimony, threatening to cut off aid to Israel when Begin refused to accept Biden's demands on how to run his country. Begin looked directly at Biden and said, "Don't threaten us with cutting off your aid. It will not work. I am not a Jew with trembling knees. I am a proud Jew with 3,700 years of civilized history. Nobody came to our aid when we were dying in the gas chambers and ovens. Nobody came to our aid when we were striving to create our country. We paid for it. We fought for it. We died for it. We will stand by our principles. We will defend them. And when necessary, we will die for them again, with or without your aid." Today, Biden is at it again. Like his former boss, Obama, Biden is actively undermining Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his coalition government, and the State of Israel as it faces down the Iranian terror state and its nuclear weapons development and Palestinian terrorists. The Wall Street Journal editorial board recently asked, why does President Biden go out of his way to snub, criticize, and give marching orders to the government of Israel? At least rhetorically, the president and his administration treat Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his governing coalition worse than they do the ruling mullahs in Iran. Tom Nides, Mr. Biden's departing ambassador to Israel, chimes in that the U.S. must speak up to stop Israel from going off the rails. The journal notes that Biden's Israel policy has been counterproductive. U.S. aid to anti-Israel international bodies has resumed, and all of Judea and Samaria and East Jerusalem is treated as occupied territory. This is now a liberal article of faith, but how does it advance peace to indulge Palestinians in the belief that Jews are interlopers in Judea and at the Western Wall? Biden is selling out Israel in pursuit of another treacherous nuclear deal with Iran that allows Iran to complete its nuclear arms program, and in which Biden and the Obama holdovers surrounding him arrogantly claim and stupidly believe they can diplomatically manage the region. Hence, Netanyahu, who insists that Iran must never produce a single nuclear weapon and is prepared to go to war to stop that genocidal terrorist regime, is viewed by Biden as the problem. Biden has not and never will treat another country, especially an ally, with the kind of condescension and disdain he singularly saves for Israel and its democratically elected government. And despite his self-aggrandizing lies, in which he claims a decades-long record of supporting the Jewish state, his motives are sinister and his contempt is obvious. In this, his record may well exceed Franklin Roosevelt's legacy toward the Jewish people. As the Democrat Party's want for ever more control intensifies and its hate for America becomes even more pronounced, it will look increasingly like autocratic parties past and present around the world. The Marxist model best fits its aims because Marxist rhetoric is more easily made appealing to the masses, as is the promise of a paradisiacal society supposedly replacing the irredeemably amoral society inherited by present-day Americans. Moreover, their progress is never measured by promises kept, but by more promises made. The Democrat Party will also continue to aggressively denounce and degrade capitalism, which rewards individual accomplishments, merit, and free thinking, and is thereby a huge impediment to their effort to centralize power and decision-making. It will further extol CRT's oppressor-oppressed Marxist-based racism, which breeds jealousy, anger, and hate toward the existing dominant white society, and anti-Semitism within the Democrat Party will further fester, which is the evil nature of such parties and ultimately regimes. This is the unmistakable path the Democrat Party is on, and it is the path down which it is driving the rest of the country.